presentation of Fox Sports.
We are the Fourth. We are MC.
Royals baseball comes to you tonight from Kauffman Stadium. It's game 3 of a 4-game series between the Royals and the Minnesota Twins. The Twins have won the first 2 games of this series. They have now won the season series with the Royals, and the Royals are now 4.5 games back of that second spot in the wild card. Meanwhile, the Minnesota Twins have a 2-game lead for that second wild card spot. Hi everyone, welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. Joe Goldberg and Jeff Montgomery are coming up. The difference so far in this 2-game series, Hud, is pretty simple. One team's making the plays on defense and getting the big hits, scoring late, and that's the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah, you know, it's been interesting to see how they're putting it all together this time of the season. We've seen the Royals play that type of defense and get those timely hits and get some quality starting pitching as well. But we haven't so far in the first 2 games. They've got to find a way before it gets too late and the ship sinks. But I don't think that they're taking on that much water right now. They've still got time. The Royals have to play their game.
One guy the Royals have been looking to lately to get back on track is someone who wasn't even part of the plan during spring training this year. Jacob Junis will start for the Royals tonight. Sports Kansas City is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. For all, for less. Back on August 1st, the Royals had the second wild card spot in the American League. They were just 2 games back of the Cleveland Indians in the Central, and since then the Royals pitching as a group has really had a bad time. But one guy who's really stepped up during that period has been Jacob Junis.
How about that? A rookie of all pitchers. He comes up, he's fearless. He's been showing it by throwing strikes. Been impressive. Look at that look. You're going to see the same expression on him whether he's going good or bad. But speaking of bad, we haven't seen it. 27 strikeouts, just 1 walk in the last 5 starts. That's unheard of. Veteran starting pitchers can't have a hard time with that. The opponents aren't doing much either. He's the guy to step up today and get that win that it's badly needed.
Joel and Monty are coming up, and speaking of young right-hand pitchers, the Twins will have Jose Barrios on the mound, and Joel and Monty will cover the Twins starter.
The young phenom for the Minnesota Twins set to take on the Royals in the 3rd of 4, and while he has very good numbers, Royals had his number earlier this season. Joe Goldberg, Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery. The good news for the Royals is that Barrios has struggled. You look at it, Monty, May an ERA in the 2s, then it went to the 3s, then to the 5s. A little better last month. Back to being bad this month, but it's not that simple, is it?
Yeah, it's not. I mean, he's a very simple pitcher, fastball, curveball, changeup mix, but his numbers are really good early in the season. He's been up and down during the second half of the season. He started the season 7-2 on the year, but 5-5 since then with a 5 ERA. However, he's thrown a couple games, 7 innings plus shutout baseball during that stretch, so he has the ability to be dominant on any given night.
Yeah, and he is a pitcher that has great stuff. So we'll see what the Royals can do against him, maybe get to him a little bit early. They were able to get to him when he was here earlier this year.
Yeah, and I think that history, knowing that they've had some success against him, should go a long way. The Royals understand how important this game is. They got to score some runs tonight.
They have to score some runs. They also need the pitching. As far as the bats go, Barrios in 35 career starts has allowed 3 homers only twice, and one of those happened to the Royals. Ryan and Hud back with the call next.
On Fox Sports Kansas City is brought to you by the Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest lasting full-size pickup on the road. Find yours at your local Mid-America Chevy dealer. By the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket played gives back to Missouri schools. So play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. And by Ford, going further so you can. And we've got a big crowd building here tonight. The Royals could use some home field advantage. They have lost 5 of their last 6 here at Kauffman Stadium. It's the Royals and the Twins. The lineups and the first pitch are coming up next. Degrees. Minnesota Twins have won the first 2 games of this important series. 4-2 rallying late on Thursday and 8-5 in last night's game. They have outscored the Royals 5-2 from the 7th inning on, and by scoring 8 runs last night. We look at our Toyota League leaders, and this continues a trend for them which began after the trading deadline when the Twins were sellers. The most runs scored and the 3rd most home runs in the major leagues since August the 1st.
You know, this team, they believe in themselves. They refuse to buckle.
Tonight they'll see Jacob Junis. He is 7-2, and if he wins tonight, 8 wins would be the most among American League rookies.
Very impressive what he's done. I mean, you know what? The Royals have been looking for a starter from the minor leagues to step up, and he's been their guy. Now, he's been up and down several times this year on that shuttle from Omaha here to the big leagues in Kansas City. You can see fastball, slider, curve. That slider, that's his go-to pitch when he needs a strikeout. That's for sure. But what's most impressive for the young man, and what impresses his manager the most, is the Royals are 8-3 in his 11 starts. They win. That's the bottom line. Looking for a W. Ford around the horn. Royals defense. Escobar, we keep highlighting him because he's the Iron Man, only shortstop in Major League Baseball with 140 plus games in his last 8 seasons. He's solid. He loves to play. That's all the bottom line is. It's not like he's trying to prove anything. He looks forward to being in the lineup every single night, and managers love that.
Here's our crew chief, Joe West, his 40th year as a big league umpire, and calling the balls and strikes will be Andy Fletcher. And if Junis continues the way he's gone this year, there will be many more strikes than balls. Dozier swung at the first pitch last night and singled. Tonight he fouls it off of third. He is 2 out of 9 with 2 RBIs in the series. I would imagine we'll see the Twins swinging at fastballs early in the count. If they get one anywhere near a strike, the league is well aware of Junis's slider.
That's right, under 200 average, just 1 homer. That pitch. He's given up 10 this year. It's been out of the ballpark. But you know what, though? I tell you what's fun watching this guy is that he's got a good tempo. He has confidence, but also, I wouldn't use the word fun, but I would just use the word stoic. Look at his face. Same expression all the time. You love that. He's not going to tip his hand one way or another. A pitcher that has emotions out there and carries them on his sleeve is a pitcher who's in trouble at this level. You can only be good for so long, but eventually those hitters will figure you out when you show them emotion.
Got a fastball and he drives it to center, but Kane is there into a little sliver of sunlight. 1 down.
But you know, early on, Junis wasn't real sure of himself, and that's just meant to be when you're a young big leaguer coming up to this to play in the show. But now he trusts his stuff. He's confident and he's convicted with his pitches. And that speaks volumes for a young guy with confidence. Conviction and trusting your stuff.
Joe Mauer with 1 out. He's been on base 7 times in the first 2 games. 4 out of 7 with 3 walks. Oh, and 2. He has the 6th most hits against the Royals all time, and spiking his career average against KC over his last 8 games. 232 career hits against the Royals.
It's incredible, but you know what, though? He works hard. He works at it. But this season might be one of his best because the Twins are winning. They have a mojo, and he's emerging as a leader and doing the little things.
Junis strikes out his first.
Playing team baseball is Mauer. You could tell Mauer did not look comfortable with any of his swings, especially this one here that's out of the zone. Perfect. See that little square box right there? That's the whole key. Stay out of the middle of that. If you're in the middle of that, a big league hitter is going to hit it. It's all about execution.
Polanco with 2 down, and he takes a fastball for a strike. He's been on base 6 times with a couple of hits and 4 walks. And we've been telling you all series, Minnesota, they'll take their walks. They have the 3rd most in the league. And I imagine when the hitters got together, Hud, they talked about Jake Junis's slider. He already has a strikeout with his slider, and that pitch for him is his put away pitch. How does he put a hitter away? Ooh. And he gets 2 twins with his slider. 3 up, 3 down with a couple of strikeouts for Junis. 6-game hitting streak. Royals get Mike Moustakas back in the lineup, and he will be at third base. Brandon Moss is the designated hitter. And for the second time this year, the Royals will face Jose Barrios, who altogether has had a good year, but lately he's been very hot or very cold.
He has been, but this is his first full season, and most guys, whether you're on the you toe the slab or you play defense behind you, that extra month of September, that's a big month. It's an extra stretch of games that you're not used to. And this young man here, he's been around once or twice, and offenses are starting to figure him out. He's got good stuff, though, excellent stuff.
Dozier backs out into shallow right. 1 down.
Talked about Mauer being a team player this year. With his bat, he's hitting over 300, but look what he's done at first base. Just 1 error for Mauer. And Mauer, he's playing in his 123rd game. That's pretty good, especially handling the ball as much as a first baseman does. He's been excellent, having one of his best seasons.
Lorenzo Cain with 1 out, 1 for 8 in the first 2 games. And Barrios is in with a strike.
See that little movement there? That's stuff. That's what we call stuff. When you hear somebody say, well, he's got good stuff. His movement on that fastball, breaking ball, you know, firm, hard stuff. I listened to our Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery in his pregame, postgame, all the time. I listen to him about pitching because I'm learning.
That's into the right field corner. Kepler, didn't get it, and it's fair by inches. And Lorenzo Cain, who is not 100%, the crowd reacts because the relay got away from the Minnesota infield, but Cain is lucky he got to third. It was last weekend in Minnesota. He tried to stretch it into an inside the park home run.
That's right. Look at how far that ball was on the outer half of the plate. He went with it, and Kepler, it was hit high enough that Kepler couldn't get to it. Oh, Locane's going good. He caught the chalk. That's a beautiful thing. Legged out his 5th triple, but actually did not have to shift out of 3rd gear, which was good for him. He's got all the gears. Some guys only have one.
Infield is back for Melky Cabrera, and he takes a slider outside. He's a shade above the league average, getting a runner home from 3rd with less than 2 outs. He's ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Broke his bat. That'll get the run home. That's Melky's 2nd RBI of the series, and the Royals strike first.
Okay, that's important. Get out there early, but just going to say all Melky's got to do is just make some contact here to the middle, and he did. That ball's another, you know, outside. See, this goes to show you, you don't have to always hit balls that are out over the plate. You can hit balls that are 2 inches off. Locane just went down right field. Melky knocked in a run with that, so it's okay to be aggressive at times.
Expand the strike zone in certain situations.
Right.
So Eric Hosmer with 2 down and nobody on. And that's the definition of an RBI man right there. Take what the pitcher gets you, drive in the run, whereas there may be another hitter who's all caught up in his on base percentage would take the walk. And now you're in position for a ground ball and a double play. 2 balls and no strikes. Our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard, Eric Hosmer is in the top 4 in several American League categories. Average, base hits, multi-hit games, on base percentage, and he may add to that right here with the count 3-0. Three and one. All right, I'm going to get on my soapbox for just a moment.
Go ahead, please.
But there have been a lot of.
We have 2 outs, though, now.
There have been a lot of so-called RBI guys who they've got a wonderful on-base percentage, but they drive in 60 or 65 runs a year. Well, Melky's job right there was not to walk, it was to drive in a run.
Yeah.
3 balls and 2 strikes.
And you know, just before he swung, I was going to talk about the fact that, look, they're playing him back. They're basically conceding the run. And it's an opportunity. Now, Melky, he's 1 RBI shy of 80 now. That's getting it done. You're right. Be up there, knock that run home. Take your walk. That's a league-leading walk for Haas. That's his 59th. Or, excuse me, team leading. Not league leading.
And now Salvador Perez with a runner at first base and 2 down. Barrios has had some problems in the first inning this year. He's had more than 1 start where he's allowed 5 in the first. And maybe hitting a wall. Here's a young guy pitching 6 full months, whereas in the minor leagues you're pitching 5 months. A 5 ERA in his last 12.
I mean, that's 4 or 5 more starts. Think about that. It's a lot of pitches. And it's the same for a position player too. Defensive guy. You're still dragging. You're like, wow, we got a whole another month to play. Then once you get through it, then you know what to expect.
No balls and 2 strikes. Well, here's an example, Hud. Let's look at his last 5. At Detroit, 3 1/3 innings, 6 runs. And then against Arizona, 7 innings, no runs.
Awesome.
Then 5 1/3, 5 runs, followed by 7 innings and no runs. And then Monday at Tampa Bay, 5 innings and 5 runs.
Well, by looking at that, you would think that maybe he's due for a good one tonight, but I don't think so. Royals got to stay hungry. They've got to get back in that win column, especially here at home.
Minnesota's pitched Salvi well so far in the first 2 games. He is 0 for 8.
Just 2 games over 500 here at home.
On the ground to Escobar. This will be a long throw, but Mauer stretches, and that ends the inning. Lorenzo Cain hits a 1-out triple. Melky Cabrera gets him home, and the Royals lead 1-0.
Ryan Lefevre and his entire family. Look at him. He's never looked better on that big jumbotron board here in Kansas City, celebrating his 3,000th game as a Kansas City Royal broadcaster. I can't be more proud right now as I got goosebumps all over me. Holtzy, look at Denny. Denny's even got Denny up. How about that? Congratulations, Rhino. I'm looking forward to another 3,000, watching you get 3,000 more, bud. Way
Thanks,
to go.
Hud. I appreciate it.
Fantastic. Look at that.
A little embarrassing.
Whoa, what do you mean? You look like a presidential figure, like a political figure waving to the people. I like it.
Mr. 3000.
Yeah, I saw that. That's great. Congratulations, partner.
Thank you, Hud.
That was exciting. You're the ovation. The people love you, Rhino. Yeah.
That was for the peanut toss, which preceded.
No, it was not. You're a part of the fabric here, Rhino. And you know, some of those, Rhino, some of those calls that I got to listen to while you were in radio, you know, we weren't invited to do TV in postseason because the network takes over. But you got to do some radio calls with Denny, and some of the greatest calls I've ever heard. And some of your career calls happened when I was here. So I'm really excited about being with you. Thanks for putting up with me, Rhino. But man, am I proud right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, you should be too. Your family should be, for the longevity and your attention to detail and what you do to prepare for each game. It's been wonderful to see. And how is your back carrying me? That's what I want to know for the last 6 years.
Well, I do get combat pay for the games I do with you. So,
okay.
No, but thank you. I appreciate it. That was a very nice gesture by the team, which they did not have to do. Long run for Hosmer, and he's got it, knowing exactly where the tarp was in his ballpark. 2 down.
Plenty of time. He wears the gold. Oh, by the way, Rhino, I took a peek down there at the Royals dugout, and I saw our skipper Ned Yost looking up to you, tipping his cap and giving you a standing ovation. That's right, you're our skipper Ned. He was digging the moment too.
Well, he was very generous during our radio interview before the game today.
Yeah, that's cool.
5 up, 5 down against Jacob Junis. He made his first major league start against the Twins back in May. 1 ball and 1 strike. One and 2. Other teams are noticing what we talk about every time Junis pitches. The next day, a broadcaster or a coach from another team will say, boy, that kid's got a lot of poise, doesn't he? And the answer is yes. And he's got good stuff tonight. 6 up, 6 down with 3 strikeouts. Mike Moustakas has a chance for history. He'll lead off the bottom of the 2nd inning. The big story continues to be the Cleveland Indians. They have won 17 in a row after beating the Orioles at home today. A 14-game winning streak last year, a 17-game winning streak this year. So they are 3 away from the record. Oh, and 1 on Mike Moustakas.
I mean, believe it or not, other teams are trying to win. So that's how strong they are and the type of roll they're on, the momentum, the swagger. Remember how many times we talked about the Royals having swagger in their championship run, especially in 15, when they just ran the gambit. They run the whole thing. They had a swagger about them. They were confident. They were good. They knew it. Tribe's like that now.
Into the right field corner. Moustakas is going to hold. Part of it is because of his knee. The other part is how well Kepler played that in the corner.
Sure did. Too bad Moose couldn't have got under that, because that'd have been a nice souvenir for a fan out there for a time being. And then, of course, the fan would exchange the ball for maybe a bat. Look at that. Beautiful. And the ball was down out of the zone. Breaking ball. Moose tagged it. Had topspin on it.
That'll be back and out of play.
Ooh, ouch. It's okay.
Now, Royals fans remember in 2002 they were in Oakland when the A's won their 20th. That was the season made famous by Moneyball. The Royals go to Cleveland and will be there on Thursday to begin the last road trip. But if the Indians reach 20 or 21, that will be done by the time the Royals get there. So they will not potentially be part of both of those milestones for an opposing team. Talk about the wild card game.
Yeah, the wild card game.
The Royals and the A's. That 2002 game was just as wild. Scott Hatteberg hitting a walk-off home run against Jason Grimsley to win it. That I don't remember the details, but the A's had something crazy like a 9-10 run lead or something like that, thinking they're just going to run away with number 20, and the Royals got back into it. 1-1 on Moss. One and two. The A's had an 11-0 lead, Hud, and the Royals came back and tied it. They almost ruined Oakland's chance at winning 20 in a row by covering an 11-0 deficit, and then Hatteberg hit the home run in the bottom of the ninth to win it 12-11. How about that for a wild game?
Those are fun games to watch. You kidding me? That was great.
Slice to left field, and Rosario is there. One down. Tomorrow is Star Wars Day here at Kauffman Stadium. It's a theme ticket, and you'll receive a Drew Butera TIE Fighter Pilot bobblehead and your ticket to watch the Royals take on the Twins. You have to buy that theme ticket at royals.com/theme tickets. And now that we promote that for the last time, I will tell you that that is not easy to say. Drew Butera TIE Fighter Pilot bobblehead.
Well, you've done a great job. I never heard you misspeak one time. Skills. You got the skills, partner.
Fastball over the outside to Alcides Escobar, who is hitting .245. Escobar in September is hitting .444. And in his last 28 games, he's hitting .350.
Using the whole field. Double's been impressive for him.
Just about 2.5 months ago, he was still hitting under 200.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. And I smelt a rat in spring training when I saw him for the first time. And I said, Esky, we're going to see some steals this year. You're going to play drop some bunts down. And he wagged his finger at me and he says, no. And he made the telescope to, I'm going to hit homers. And when he told me that, I went, no, Esky, no. And he was swinging for the fences, not for the first month, but the first 2 months. And I don't understand why. He hit 7 last year, but maybe
which was a career high,
right? And
so maybe it's only natural to think, well, what if I hit 10?
Yeah. But you know, now he's back to being Esky. He's being selective. He says the reason I'm hot is because I'm hitting my pitch out over the plate. I'm not swinging at his pitch anymore. That slider off the plate.
Got a pitch out over the plate. That's a fair ball. Moustakas goes to third. Escobar has a double.
Country Joe West, third base umpire on the call there. It looked awfully close. Esky, he powdered it. It's a heater right on the inner half of the plate, and he's able to hook it right down that line. Again, we talked about his double ability. That's his 30th double on the season. Stay hot now. Looked like it went right over. That's his third 30 double season in his career.
Two in scoring position for Alex Gordon. He's had a nice series. He is 4 out of 7. He has driven in a run.
Infielders for Molitor. And the Twins halfway in the middle. Halfway, that means they're giving their infielders a little bit more range on a ball that could be hit to their left or their right, so Escobar doesn't score.
He swung, and it's 0-2. We've been talking tonight about Jacob Junis' slider. How about Barrios? Checked his swing, 1-2.
It's a quick breaker. That's what he wanted to do. Ahead in the count like that. Throw a pitch off the plate, get him to swing and miss. Don't leave him anything too good. Alex, shorten up on his swing. Try to find a hole. If you want to get one elevated, then look him up. Look up in the zone. Anything close, got to be hacking.
Rosario into foul ground and didn't catch it, and that's a good thing, because even though he was losing his balance and may have bumped into the wall, that was not deep enough for Mike Moustakas to try and tag and come down the line.
No, that's a nice break there.
Sometimes you get a foul out deep enough that you can still get the run. That was not.
I think Alex is pleased about that. So is Moose.
Still 1-2. Moustakas singled, and with 1 out, Escobar doubled. Royals get a run in the first inning on an RBI ground out by Melky Cabrera. This time he was able to check, and it's 2-2. Barrios, he's had a bad time in his career against the Royals. His career ERA is 8.2. He has no quality starts against the Royals. And back on July the 1st, he gave up 3 home runs and 5 runs in 5 innings.
Come through here could rock his world a little bit.
3-2.
8th pitch coming. It's good AB for Alex, especially for the first time up. Runners at second and third, less than 2 outs, a chance to get another run. Maybe 2. Maybe 3. It's been since July 3rd that Alex has hit a homer. I don't know if he's going to give him a heater. We'll see. Anything close, be hacking. Ooh.
Ball 4.
Okay, that'll work.
So Alex comes back from 0-2. And after all those foul balls, he takes a walk, and they're loaded up for Merrifield.
He just got through saying anything close, because if he rings him up there, that's not good. But look, he spit on it, took his chances, and he gets a free pass.
Witt popped out to second in the first inning. Slider is low for ball 1. Witt has the longest current hitting streak of any Royal, 6 games, and he's hit .440 with 7 runs scored, 6 driven in. And he's got a big spot right here with the Royals having lost the first 2 games of the series. A 1-0 lead, and now the bases loaded with 1 out in the second.
Think up the middle. Ooh, he was thinking a little more than that. It's a good rip.
Gets away from Castro, but Mike Moustakas with that sore knee, and really not just him. I mean, that thing came off the signage board. That might have gotten him even if both of his legs were 100%.
That's right, but you know the key was Escobar didn't overrun him, and neither did Alex. The trailing runners, you know, lots of times you just take off, but Escobar, he put the brakes on quickly. That's a quick way to get you out of the inning by throwing behind the runner and getting him in trouble. So
is that the job of the base coaches, to remind the guys before we pitch, watch this guy?
If the base coaches are sharp, yes, but it's the responsibility of the base runner to know he can't overrun the guy ahead of him. And it's nice to get a reminder.
Two and one on Merrifield.
It's hard to teach instinctive base running. You can learn and you can become a better base runner. You don't have to have outstanding speed. But you look around, like Escobar right now at second base. I already watched him. He looked to see where the outfielders are playing. With less than 2 outs, he makes a mental note of where they're playing. So when the ball's hit, he can just react and go.
3-1. Lorenzo Cain, who already has a triple against Barrios, is on deck. Bounce off the plate and foul, and boy, anything hit on the ground will take your breath away. The Minnesota Twins have 6 double plays on defense in the first 2 games of the series.
Cannot do that here in this situation. Absolutely not. It's a no-no. Find a hole or get one up in the air deep enough to score moose. Got to come away with something. Right man, right spot. Witt coming in at 323 with runners in scoring position. Look for yours. Same situation as Alex. Anything close, don't let him ring you up.
Sharply hit, but right to Polanco, and that is 7 ground ball double plays in this series for the Minnesota Twins.
Oh man, too bad. He gets underneath that ball weak, that clears the bases. That's baseball.
Leading the Twins after 2 innings and in need of a good starting pitching performance. So far, so good for Jacob Junis. Joel Goldberg down by the dugout. Last night, Ian Kennedy removed after the 3rd inning, as we see in our University of Kansas Health System update. Talking to head trainer Nick Kenny today, it's not necessarily tightness, it's rotator cuff fatigue. Fatigue is an indicator of tightness. Last night, the issue was different than, say, his last start, because remember, guys, that previous start, he had an extra day of rest. He looked good in his bullpen side session, but Nick reminding me that, you know, a side session isn't necessarily an indicator that everything is okay. It could be a bit of a false positive because you don't have the same adrenaline.
That ties the game, and that's baseball right there, guys. Bases loaded, 1 out, bottom of the 2nd inning. The Royals hit the ball hard but don't score, and it always seems like when that happens, the opponent answers right away, and Escobar makes it a 1-1 game.
Gosh, you know, will Sano get his job back when he gets healthy? I mean, this kid here. Man, Eduardo Escobar, that's his 17th home run, 61st RBI, and he got a pitch he was wanting. And the rest of his buddies, to that point, couldn't hit it hard at all.
Breaking ball strike to Jason Castro. Our Kubota Power Stats talks about Eduardo Escobar, who is going down the tunnel, and what he's done to the Royals recently. It is 1-1 on Castro. A week ago, exactly a week ago in Minnesota, Escobar had 2 home runs and 6 RBIs against the Royals. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Castro. So Paul Molitor It stung when Miguel Sano went on the disabled list, but Eduardo Escobar in his last 5 games against the Royals has 5 home runs and 10 RBIs.
Yeah, he's taken up right where Sano left off against our team.
Merrifield dives. He's not able to get it. Castro rounds first and holds. Let's go back down to Joel.
Yeah, just to complete the thought that was interrupted by the home run, that, you know, a guy will throw a side session, and if things aren't going well, if things don't feel right, that's a good indicator he needs more time or something is off. But just because you have a good bullpen, which Ian did, the effort level's not the same as in game. So oftentimes these things won't manifest until the game. The biggest thing that Ian and others in the rotation need at this point is rest. There aren't a lot of off days, so the possibility of a 6-man rotation is something that we could see, because right now Ian and others just need that extra day to recharge the batteries in their arms.
They're going to need them. But the pain part, or the lack of pain, is the good news. Out in front of the plate, Salvi might take a shot at second. Nope, he'll take the sure out. And you know he's always thinking about getting the lead runner. So sacrifice gets Castro to second with 1 out.
Grossman, he's got a good stroke from the left side, decides to lay one down. Seen Minnesota do that a couple times now in the series. Giving up an out to move the runner in scoring position. Been around as long as the game has.
I might have gotten Salvi in the thumb. Dozier flied to center field in the first inning. Dozier, like the rest of the league, has a lot of respect for Salvador Perez, so he backs out, gives Salvi a little extra time. And think of all the balls that they catch, they block in the dirt, and sometimes it hits the perfect spot, or maybe the imperfect spot, and sends a jolt of pain up their arm. 1 ball and 1 strike. All the bruises they get on their legs from the foul tips, but probably the body part that looks forward to the offseason more than any other for a catcher is their left thumb.
That's right.
2-1. Got the call. Dozier was backing away on that slider. 2-2.
It's a quick breaker. It locked him up. We've seen him get some high strikes with that pitch there, with that breaker. Usually that's designed to go down and away from the hitter. But we've seen Junis executed up in the zone. It locks up the hitter.
Junis set down the first 6 Twins tonight with 3 strikeouts, and then Escobar greeted him in this inning with a home run. Castro singled, and then Grossman bunted him to second base. Almost made contact with that. 3-2. Joe Mauer is on deck. Fastball struck him out. So maybe he was thinking about that slider and he was late on the fastball, and that is Jake's 4th strikeout.
Yeah, when you think as a hitter you're in trouble, you want to go up there and react. And Yeah, he was thinking about that breaker. Snuck that cheese right by him.
And now Castro's at second with 2 down. Mauer was Junis's first strikeout victim. He got him swinging at a slider in the first. Jammed him. So the Twins get a run on the Escobar home run, but Minnesota had a runner at second with 1 out, and Junis gets a strikeout and a ground out to end the inning. Losing his son Marshall to sudden infant death syndrome in 2010, Chris and his wife Jamie started the Marshall Dean Keller Memorial Golf Tournament to raise money and awareness for SIDS. Chris and his wife have organized and planned the annual tournament since 2011, raising over $160,000 for infant loss resources. And he is sitting in the Buck O'Neil legacy seat at tonight's game.
Way to go. Thank you, Chris, and sorry for your loss. Look at you helping others. Way to go.
Lorenzo Cain, with 1 out in the first inning, tripled and scored the Royals run on a ground out by Melky Cabrera. The Royals had the bases loaded and 1 out in the second, and Whit Merrifield hit one right on the button. And it was a 1-hopper to Polanco at short, and he turned it into an inning-ending double play, but not to be deterred. The Royals come right back and get a leadoff single in the third.
Got to show some fight, no question about it. Dropping the first 2 of the 4-game series here. They got, got some catching up to do. Breaking ball that stayed up in the zone.
Melky's ground out to short got Cain down from third. Down and in, ball 1. Barrios looked like he was pitching around Melky with Cain at first and 1 out in the first inning, maybe trying to set up a ground ball and a double play with Hosmer coming up. At the knees for a strike. The count was 2-0, and the 2-0 pitch was way outside. Melky chased it, and with the infield back, picked up an RBI.
And knew what he was doing the whole way.
Twins had Nick Turley warming up when Berríos was struggling in the second inning, so that double play turned his night around.
Sure did.
This is when he's most vulnerable, second time through. 1-2.
That they were just to the left or to the right of the shortstop. Polanco away from really putting some self-doubt into Berríos.
This will be his 50th pitch of the night. There's nobody out in the third inning. And he gets a strikeout, his first. Coming up on Monday, as the Royals begin a series with the White Sox, Fox Sports Kansas City will present a special telecast honoring our armed forces. And we call it This One's For You. That night we'll link up live with soldiers from the 35th Infantry Regiment of the Missouri and Kansas National Guards. So that's This One's For You Monday on Fox Sports Kansas City.
Yeah.
There's the group we were talking about last night, which Ian and Allison Kennedy, they sponsor that dugout suite every Saturday here at Kauffman Stadium, and we were talking about that when Ian was pitching. And there are players all around Major League Baseball. They sponsor tickets, they sponsor sections on certain nights. The Kennedys, they pick up the tab, 100% of it. Different organizations, just allowing them to enjoy the game in a great seat. Hosmer with a shot into center field. He's on for the second time, and the Royals have two on with one out.
I mean, think about what that type of generosity does. All those people in there, most of them, you know, probably couldn't afford to get a dugout suite like that. I've never had a chance to sit down there like that outside of my playing days in the dugout, but there they are right there being acknowledged. And you know, they're not that kind of people that say, hey, look what we do. Yeah, it's up to us to show what they do. Quality people right there. And I know Ian's not done pitching this year. Joel had a great report on him, and he's getting better, and hopefully we'll see him out there again. But can you imagine, they're expecting their fifth child now. He's got 4 daughters. God bless him. And look, those people are having fun. And the Royals are just got 1 run on the board, about ready to get something here to get them off their seat.
Right center field, and Buxton cuts in front of Kepler. That's an easier play for Kepler and an easier throw back to the infield, so maybe Kepler didn't call for it, and Kane goes to third.
Well, we don't know that, but you're exactly right. Locane was not going to advance had Kepler caught it. Watch Lorenzo, he's going back to tag, but you know, Kepler, all he's got to do is step in. He's got his momentum coming. Buxton, he's going the other way. And good for Kepler to yield, because Buxton has priority over him, and he backed off. But I don't think Locane would have tagged up had Kepler caught it. So now he's a wild pitch away from going ahead in this game. Berríos has 4 wild pitches this year. So Moose could ignite one here.
Down and in, ball 1. Moustakas hit one into the right field corner in the second inning for a single. Fighting through that sore right knee, and Kepler also played it perfectly, just textbook off the wall and right. Kane's at third, Hosmer's at first with 2 down. One and one. In that game back on July the 1st, Berríos against the Royals, I mentioned the 3 home runs he allowed. Alcides Escobar, Brandon Moss, and Mike Moustakas all went deep against Barrios. That was here at Kauffman Stadium. Hosmer runs, and Mauer makes a diving play and goes back to the bag to end the inning. The Twins feel like he should win a Gold Glove at first base this year. Inning, Royals Charities has contributed $10,000 to both the American Red Cross and Heart to Heart International to support families impacted by recent hurricane disasters. Fans are encouraged to bring monetary donations to Kauffman Stadium through September 13th to help those affected by these natural disasters. You can also donate online at caring.com/MLB supports. Caring.com/MLB supports. Little half swing foul ball by Polanco. Junis struck him out with a slider in the first inning. Melky Cabrera drove in a run in the first with a ground out. Eduardo Escobar homered in the third. One and two. Bert Blyleven, Twins broadcaster and Hall of Famer, was in the booth before the game last night, and you were asking about guys like Polanco and Buxton, Kepler. Timeout had been called, so no pitch. And basically saying, you know, what's gotten into these guys? And his answer was, they've gotten at bats.
Regularly, every day. They know they're going to be in there if they go 0 for 4 or they go 0 for 10. And that's confidence, and that's like, all right, you believe in me, I'll show you that I can perform.
Junis strikes him out again with a slider.
Struck him out twice. Had time not have been called, that slider would have struck him out again.
So Junis has struck out 4 with his slider, and we're talking about put away pitches. He has the 4th highest percentage of put away sliders. And look at the names he's on that list with. Rosario's on with 1 out. Max Scherzer, Corey Kluber, Carlos Carrasco, Carlos Martinez. Talking about the elite slider pitchers in the major leagues.
Yeah. Junis sees that, he can dig himself. That's for sure. You know, a big league career goes by fast, you know, a little bit longer for some guys, but look, you know, when you're in it and you see your name in lights, or you see yourself on a national highlight show where you're getting all kinds of kudos and stuff, you're like, wow, man, that's me. You know, when you're by yourself seeing that, you know, you try to stay humble, and you know, you don't want anybody to see you digging yourself, but it actually happens. You get a smile on your face and say, yeah, man, check me out, I'm competing in the big leagues. It's a dream come true for a lot of guys. It's hard to do.
Swung on and missed. A throw from his knees, and Rosario is safe, says second base umpire Chris Siegel. The Royals will double check just to make sure. That was a bad pitch to throw on, and Salvi still almost got him.
Sure was. Look at how smooth his hands are. Oh, man.
Whoa, that front foot came off the bag, and Ned Yost is going to challenge.
Okay, let's see it now. Whitley, get that tag down on him quickly. Off. Yep. We'll see. See, he pops it, comes up. Nothing on. We'll have to check it out, though. You know, of course, New York will. But look, there's a shot right there of what the base can do to a sliding runner who has cleats, spikes. I mean, it caught. Lots of times, you'll catch that spike and it'll twist your ankle. You can bust a knee. So a lot of things go wrong with that. But this would be a beautiful.
It was a delayed response by the fans because they see this, his foot on the bag. Oh, darn, he's safe. Oh, wait a minute. The foot coming off the bag. But can the umpires in New York prove that Witt's glove was still engaged with Rosario when that foot came up? We were just talking about that last night. Salvador Perez saw the jump. The pitch was in the dirt. He could have easily said, there's no reason for me to throw down to second base, but he did. Whit Merrifield did his part by just keeping the glove on the runner.
And he's out. There's a big out right there for Junis. Would have been a runner in scoring position, and he would have scored.
Buxton is on with 2 outs. And that brings up Max Kepler. He struck out in his first at bat. Base hit right field, and now how big is that caught stealing? Buxton took an aggressive turn around second. He would have been out. He hit the bag awkwardly, and I wonder if he had turned the corner a little cleaner, if he would have kept running to third.
He wanted to. You have that kind of speed. He's saying, you know, I'm going to challenge anybody. You got to throw me out. But you don't want to make that third out at third base. I think he missed the, you know, he stepped right in front of that second base there. Didn't get the bag good, like you said.
So 3 consecutive singles. And here's Eduardo Escobar, who hit a no doubt home run to right field in the 3rd inning to tie the game at 1.
Nice uppercut there. He had a good level swing, but then kind of got underneath that baseball.
This is his 12th professional season. He's from the White Sox organization, signed in '06 out of Venezuela. He didn't get his first big league home run until 7 years after he was signed, and that was against the Royals. Hit a home run against Jeremy Guthrie in 2013, and just kind of seen as an extra infielder. Nice fill in at short or second or third, and he's redefining his label. 3 balls and no strikes.
He's trying to do what Jose Ramirez is doing for Cleveland.
Switch hitter like Ramirez is.
Yeah.
Three and one. Got him to chase it. Well, he's feeling pretty good to take a rip like that.
You better believe it. He's sitting dead red, looking for the heater all the way. Junis put a little wrinkle on it. See the dot? Hitter sees that just for a split second. Perfect spot. Spun him like a top.
Runners go. It is low, and they're loaded up. That's Jacobs' first walk. And maybe not the worst thing in the world. And they're just showing you what Escobar has done to the Royals lately. And now he'll pitch to Jason Castro, who's a .231 hitter. Fly ball left field. Inning over. The caught stealing was huge. So Bill Duplessis with another successful challenge, and Minnesota is scoreless in the 4th. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. There's been some big plays already. This is the biggest. Royals had the bases loaded, 1 out in the 2nd inning. They had Barrios on the ropes. He got a ground ball double play and then a diving play at first by Joe Mauer. That saved a run. And then this was huge for the Royals. Rosario was called safe. The Royals challenged. He was called out. And then Minnesota followed that up with a couple of hits, which did not produce a run. And now here we are, 1-1 to the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, I just had a feeling that, these games like this come down to them. It's basically a playoff game. The Royals have control because they're playing the team above them. That defense was going to be a big part of it, no question. Pitching and timely hitting is, but making those plays are crucial, and certainly has affected both games, especially not for the Royals.
It'll be Moss, Escobar, and Gordon in the bottom of the fourth. Bob McClure, when he was Royals pitching coach, would keep track of two things. Well, three really. Number one would be the pitcher stuff. Right. That's the most important. 1-1 on Moss. Number two was pitch count. And number three, he called them stressors. Was that a stressful inning, even though he didn't give up any runs? And you start adding up stressors, and it's almost like a pitch count. If they get to a certain part of the game, even though maybe his line doesn't look all that bad, you say, okay, well, that's enough for him mentally. And I would say Barrios has had 3 stressors in his first 3 innings.
No doubt.
2-2. Moss didn't like the call.
Bob McClure had him as teammates on 2 different teams with Bob. Bob taught me a lot about hitting and pitching and certain things off the field. He was a mentor. You got to know him here, as a coach and stuff. But man, his baseball IQ is off the charts. I'm not surprised that he's in the game with an important pitching coach role.
Tough time of night, and Rosario sees it. It lasts about 5 or 10 minutes where the ball just blends in with the sky, not light enough and not dark enough to pick it up right away. Now is your chance for a great deal on tickets to the MLB Ballpark app. You can get half-price view level or outfield plaza tickets for Monday through Thursday games. For the rest of the season, this offer is only available through the Ballpark app, so get on your phone and get your tickets before it's too late.
That's some happy fans.
Heck yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Alcides Escobar just keeps on hitting, and it started for him in August. He doubled up the left field line in the second inning. Now hitting .247. Kepler right in his tracks in right field, makes a 2-hand grab, 2 down. Talked about how much you learn from Bob McClure. Bob McClure and Ned Yost were teammates with the Brewers. And those two guys, when they start talking baseball, and their first major influence was Ted Simmons, who was the starting catcher, and Ned was the backup. But Bob McClure and Ned Yost, you talk about a veteran player that impacted those guys when they were young players. Ted Simmons' name comes up all the time. Alex lines it to right. Kepler into right center field, makes the play. And if we're going by Bob McClure's rules, that was the first non-stressor for Barrios.
showstopper. And where are we going to take you to? Why not out to Hotlanta? Oh man, this guy again, Giancarlo Stanton. He's incredible. 54th homer tonight. That's the most in the National League since '01. Wow. Yeah, that's a happy fan right there. Even though it's the opposing team, he'll take that souvenir. Pretty impressive. That's the strength of that young man. And this guy too. It's not a bad hitter.
'01, by the way, was the year that Barry Bonds hit 73 for the single season record. Number 9 hitter and designated hitter Robbie Grossman. He homered in the game last night. His contribution tonight has been a sacrifice bunt. It did not lead to a run. Those are two things you don't associate traditionally with a designated hitter: a sacrifice bunt and batting ninth.
That's right.
At least I don't.
No, I think I mentioned in either game 1 or game 2 about the Grossman hitting down in that 9 hole as DH. You don't see it very often, but he sacrificed a bunt today, and I'm not so sure I agree with that, but let him play the game.
Three and two. Brian Dozier is on deck, followed by Joe Mauer. Royals got their run in the first inning on a Melky Cabrera ground out. The Twins got their third on an Eduardo Escobar home run. That's hit right to Witt, and one away. The Red Cross depends on financial donations to be able to provide disaster relief immediately. Help people affected by Hurricanes Harvey and Irma by visiting redcross.org or texting the word Red Cross to 90999 to make a $10 donation. Got a lot of people in uniform here tonight who are on edge with Hurricane Irma, which is supposed to, at least at one point, was going to go right over Fort Myers, Florida, and that's where the Twins have their spring training. Lined right to Alex in left field. So a lot of the Twins players make their off-season homes in Fort Myers. Dave Island has a home outside the Tampa area.
Yeah, Wesley Chappell, he was telling me today, he says, man, it's hard for me to focus on my job when my wife Sandra and my daughters Nicole and Natalie are hunkering down, and that beast of a hurricane is heading right for their front doorstep, and he's a little uneasy. Just give him a shout out, tell him we're all thinking about you guys and hoping the best.
Pedro Grifol in the Miami area, and it was just a couple of days ago where it was trending that Irma was going to go right over Miami, where Eric Hosmer and his family lives, and it's not the case now, but they're going to get their share of rain. I mean, they're going to get the effects of that storm.
That's amazing.
Another ground ball for Merrifield. Jacob Junis, against the team who has scored the most runs since August 1st, has given up 1 run in 5 innings. The fifth inning. The Royals are 4.5 back, tied with Tampa Bay behind Minnesota. They have a 2-game lead over the Angels. Texas is in the mix. New York has already won. Minnesota has its sights set on the top spot. Tampa Bay is losing big. That's good news for the Royals. It's one of the teams they need to pass, and the Angels will be at Seattle later tonight. Whit Merrifield has made the 2 biggest outs of the game tonight because of bad luck. He hit the ball right on the nose, but into a double play to end the bottom of the 2nd inning. It was Dick Allen, the former White Sox and other teams slugger, but mostly the White Sox, who once said, as a hitter, all I can do is hit the ball hard. It's up to God after that.
That's true. I mean, a lot of times you're driving home shaking your head saying, man, how did I not get any hits tonight? And I squared that baseball up 4 times. It had nothing to show for it. And you're shaking your head. That's when you have to have that persevering heart, have to surround yourself with good people, positive people that are going to say, hey, you'll get them tomorrow. It's okay. But if you go home or you see some of your buddies and go, look, you were lucky to square the ball up at all. You're a bum. You know, be just that negative. There, your buddies aren't going to say that, but I mean, you need positive reinforcement in this game.
It's a grind, the 162 game season, but you don't have very long to dwell on a bad game. No, it's a grind and a blessing at the same time.
That's the beauty of the game, no question.
A line drive caught, and Whit Merrifield either walked under a ladder or got too close to a black cat earlier today, and he is 0 for 3.
That's what we're talking about.
It's time for our sprint trivia question. Name the 6 franchises to never make the postseason as a wild card team. I believe Minnesota is one of them. So 5 others. They're trying to make the wild card this year in historic fashion. Line to left field, caught by Rosario, and Barrios is living really good right now. Kane is 2 out of 3. If Minnesota does indeed make the playoffs as a wild card, not only will it be their first, but it'll be the first time in Major League history that a team who lost 100 games one year made the postseason the next year. And Paul Molitor's Twins lost 103 last season.
Watch out. Those wild card teams. It's been several of the wild card teams since, when was it? 98. First year of the wild card.
95.
Okay, 95. I wonder how many wild card teams won the World Series, because I would say it's a pretty high number.
So there we go. We can do 2 trivia questions at once.
So you never know.
Two line drives are mixed in, but it's a 1-2-3 5th inning for Barrios, and now suddenly he has set down the last 8.
On another clinic. That's right. Minnesota Twins are as hot as any team. Now, they're not as hot as the Cleveland Indians, obviously, but they are a good hitting team, and Junis is shutting them down. Just giving up 1 run. And he's doing his job. Now watch him as he walks off here. Check his expression out right here. Look at that. Same expression. Can't tell if he's going good or bad. That's important for a pitcher. Any pitcher, especially a young guy. Remember, in his 11 starts this season, Royals are 8-3. Go ahead, Jacob.
He has struck out Polanco twice, and Junis typical with his strikeout to walk ratio. He has struck out 5 and walked 1, and his 1 walk really wasn't a bad walk. He pitched Eduardo Escobar carefully to get to Jason Castro. Denny Matthews refers to those as the unintentional intentional walks. It doesn't go down as an intentional walk, but for all intents and purposes it was.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
So Dave Holtzman researched the wild card winners of the World Series since '95. 6. I think that's a high number for wild card teams that weren't supposed to do anything. Beautiful.
Polanco has the hat trick. 6 strikeouts and 1 walk for Jacob Junis.
Fantastic. He's on his game. Look at the spots. 2 in. That's off the plate, but he'll take it. And Polanco, you got to go. Yeah, he's saying, oh my.
We'll get back to this. This is the best strikeout to walk ratios for a rookie in Royals history, and Junis right now has the 2nd best. Only Zach Greinke back in '04. Better than Scott Bankhead, Bob Johnson, and Jose Rosado with a minimum of 10 starts.
It's on a roll. Keep it up.
So you're talking about only 5 pitchers with a ratio like that in the last 48 years of Royals history.
That's getting the job done. Look at him. He's on a roll. We got to get him some runs. Man, Barrios has been living good. All over the baseball tonight.
Left center field. Kane will play it on a bounce. Rosario's 2 for 3.
Anyway, those 6 teams, the wild card teams, 2 were the Marlins in '97 and '03, Angels in '02, Red Sox in '04, Cardinals in '11.
And now be careful. The
Giants,
team with which we don't talk about very often.
Yeah, Giants in '14. Ouch.
Buxton with 1 on, 1 out. Our trivia question tonight, our sprint trivia question: 6 major league franchises have never been to the postseason as a wild card team. We've already identified the Twins, and during our commercial break we also came up with the Padres and the Nationals/Expos. So 3 more. 0-2 on Buxton. His single in the 4th inning put an end to an 0 for 21. He was one of the hottest things going when the Royals were in Minneapolis last weekend, and ended up going 5 for 7 in that series against the Royals, and now he's cooled off. And so goes the ebb and flow of a 6-month Major League Baseball season.
Sure is, man. If you knew the formula to stay hot the whole year, oh man, would that be fun. Just doesn't happen.
Still 0-2. 2 National League teams, 1 American League team. That's what remains in our trivia question. Teams who have never been to the postseason as a wild card. One ball and 2 strikes. How about the Philadelphia Phillies? Correct. Take him home, Hud. 1 National, 1 American League. Rosario is back in time. Still 2-2. Well, our producer Kevin Cedergren, without giving me the team, gave it to me. The Arizona Diamondbacks. The clue was these 2 teams we've either played or will play. There's only one team that the Royals have not played yet that they will play, and that's Arizona.
Okay.
Rosario runs. He is out this time, and now maybe the Twins will try and turn the tables and challenge. Rosario was called safe back in the 4th inning, and the Royals challenge, and that was overturned. And Paul Molitor says no challenge.
Look at that tag on the wallet. He's out. Good job by Salvi. Salvi came up out of his crouch, really got on top of his throw. He wanted to get that ball down. The last throw was a tough one to pick. He was on his knees, but he got it out in front. I love where Whitley is. See where Whitley is? He's way in front of the base there. That's getting there early and plenty of time to help Salvi. Salvi really emphasized on getting on top of that throw. Watch Salvi now. He's going to get up on top of this right here. Downhill angle. That's what you want. And Whitley got there in plenty of time to catch and put the tag on him. Nicely done. That ball was heading straight down from Salvi's ear. They teach the catcher to throw from his ear right here. This is a short throwing motion, and the ball stays straight. Now you don't have time to find the seams, the 4 seams, but you throw from your ear with a short stroke, keeps the ball straighter on a downhill plane.
Minnesota takes a 2-1 lead on a home run by Byron Buxton past the Royals bullpen in left field. That was the 10th pitch of the at-bat.
That Salvi throwout was huge. I've never seen Buxton hit a ball that far. Trying to get him up in the zone. Obviously, all those pitches.
One and one. Max Kepler is singled and he is struck out. Sharply hit. Escobar backhands, unloads, inning over. Buxton's home run puts Minnesota in front. The Royals have the middle of the order coming up. Hosmer, Perez, and Moustakas. Royals fan, and I'll tell you why. That is Mary Orr holding that sign, and I'm surprised that one of the boxes isn't a grand slam, because if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park in our Sonic Slam inning, Mary will win 25 grand. A home run is worth 400. Wow. And by the way, Sonic Slam contestants are aware ahead of time that they are the contestant. Eric Hosmer is on for a third straight time. He has walked, he has singled twice, and he's on to begin the bottom of the sixth inning right after Minnesota took a 2-1 lead.
All right, time to get him on, get him over, get him in. Here we go. Brio's been living good. The Royals have been tagging him all night. Got nothing to show for it, hardly. Got 1 run, 6 hits. Haas got 2 of them of those 6.
Another multi-hit game for Eric Hosmer, who is always among the league leaders in that category. He is 3rd this year, outside to Salvador Perez. Well, Salvy's due for a big hit. He is 0 for 10 in the series. Back to Berríos. A good feed to Dozier. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is double play number 8 for the Minnesota Twins in the first 3 games of the series.
Oh, man, some more buzzard luck there. Now, I believe Dozier would have probably gotten to that ball, but still, that's a sure, easy double play. Berríos living right.
Mike Moustakas has singled, and he has grounded out to first. It is the ultimate combination of skill and luck to get a ground ball double play. Skill to get the ground ball, but how hard it's hit and where it's hit a lot of times is luck. No balls and 2 strikes.
Staying with the heat, 2 in a row. You're right.
Popped up to Polanco, the shortstop, over on the right side. Leadoff single. And in the end, it's a 6-pitch, 3-batter inning for Berríos. Game lead for the second wild card spot. Our sprint trivia question: Minnesota is one of 6 franchises who have never made the postseason as a wild card team, joining the Padres, the Nationals/Expos, the Phillies, the Diamondbacks, and the Chicago White Sox. Paul Molitor talking things over with his pitching coach Neil Allen, who grew up a Royals fan in Kansas City, Kansas.
Good question tonight, fellas. Way to go. I ran into a fan today, Rhino, that said that he can't wait for the sprint trivia question every single night. I told him, you know what? Sometimes we need that question to help us get through. And other times, you know, we just get it done, but helps the game go by. Times when we need it.
Fouled back by Eduardo Escobar. He is homered and he is walked. In the big picture, though, our crew is putting that trivia question to try and make us look bad. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It was a struggle for me. I didn't know the history here in Kansas City like you did when I first got here, obviously, but I tried to brush up on it. Tried to get a little bit better. Anyway, it's fun. Good shot. Anyway, Jake.
Number 7 for Junis. Join the Royals for Armed Forces Night, presented by Price Chopper, Quick Trip, and Folds of Honor. That's Monday. The White Sox will be here. We hope you'll arrive early for a special pregame ceremony as we honor those men and women who have served this country and those still in active service. Get your tickets at Royals.com/tickets or 1-800-6-ROYALS. Jason Castro takes high. He singled in the 3rd inning, and then he flied out to end the 4th, and that was with the bases loaded. 1-1. Junis is at 91 pitches, and they're working in the Royals bullpen. He has allowed 2 solo home runs tonight to Escobar and Buxton. 2-1. It's Mike Minor out there. Three balls and 1 strike. Line to right field and sinking. 1 hop to Melky Cabrera. So good timing with Castro tonight. He has 2 hits. The one time he made an out was with the bases loaded. And after 94 pitches and a runner at first with 1 out in the 7th inning, Ned Yost goes out to get Jacob Junis, who has another good start.
Kidding me? 6 1/3. Only, 2 runs is all he's given up, and fantastic job. Really, with any kind of luck at all, he'd have a lead right now. Fans appreciate him. Ned really loves him. Good job, Jacob. Can't wait to see you out there again.
Chevy called to the bullpen with 1 on, 1 out. By Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Ram, go ahead, test our strength now during Ram Power Days. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less. Mike Minor with 1 on 1 out. Ned Yost used him on Thursday. He worked around a leadoff single and pitched a scoreless 8th. He has 5 consecutive scoreless appearances. And his first pitch is a changeup to Robbie Grossman.
Minor 3 major pitches. Fastball 94 to 97. Slider change, all 3 above average. Looks really good. 67 innings. He's just given up 50 hits, 76 strikeouts, 205 opponents batting average. Minor has been awesome.
Grossman fouls it back on 2-0. Three and one. And a walk, 2 on with 1 out. It's only the second walk for Twins hitters tonight. Junis walked 1 and struck out 7 to add to his already impressive strikeout to walk ratio, and that walk didn't turn into anything. And now 2 on for Dozier. He is 0 for 3, which includes a line out to left field. Oh and 1. One and 1. Dozier was 0 for 3 against Junis, a right-hander, and his batting average is much different against righties than it is against lefties. More home runs as a righty, as he has a lot more at bats.
That ball breaks into you. It's a little bit easier to hit. That breaking ball. Changeup's a different story. That ball, that changeup from a left-handed pitcher goes away. Usually, typically, most lefties have a tailing, sinking action away to the right-handed batter.
Up the middle. How about the Royals turning a double play for a change? And a nifty one with Escobar scooping with his glove to get it to Merrifield.
Yeah, how about that? We'll take one of our own. Esky, 6-4-3. Twins up 2-1, bottom of the 7th inning. Hey, look, we could at least turn one double play tonight. And there it was, very nicely done. Escobar, smooth. Whitley saw the feed the whole way because the glove was open. He just shoveled it to him and is able to turn it with no problem. Roll him over.
And with that double play, McDouble sandwiches are only $1 tomorrow at participating McDonald's locations in the greater KC, St. Joe, and Lawrence areas. Brandon Moss has flied out to Rosario in left field twice. Barrios really struggled to get through the first 3 innings. In the 2nd inning, Paul Molitor had his bullpen working. But he has settled in. He has retired 11 of the last 13. And now with his pitch count up there, they're working again. Ryan Presley is the righty. Buddy Bashirs is the lefty, and former Twins great and one-time all-time saves leader Eddie Guardado is out there watching those two. He at one time had the all-time lead in saves, but then was passed by Joe Nathan.
There's everyday Eddie right there.
Two and two. Mauer dives, gets to his feet, and Barrios is waiting at the bag for the first out. There's no better way to enjoy a Royals game than with a group of friends, employees, or customers. You'll receive discounted ticket rates and a complimentary message on the outfield scoreboard when you purchase 20 or more tickets. Large groups also have the opportunity for complimentary tickets, on-field presentations, and batting practice field visits depending on your size and availability. So email groupsales@royals.com for rates and availability. Alcides Escobar has doubled and flied to right. Polanco gets Escobar, and remember early in the game we were showing you how Barrios has been so hot and cold. A bad start followed by a good start followed by a bad start, and you had said, well, if that trend continues, he's going to have a good one tonight, which he has to this point. But the Royals had 7 base runners in the first 3 innings and scored 1 run. And the strikeout pitcher Barrios only has 1 in 6 2/3 innings. He has used his defense well.
No doubt, and of course got him playing right on because the line drives all over the park on him,
including a line out to right by Alex Gordon in the 4th inning. He also has a walk. He goes to the opposite field. Rosario back, all the way back. Game tied. It's been a while, but Alex knows his way around the bases. And the Royals have tied the game at 2 in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Oh, nothing like a nice parting gift for Barrios there, and a beautiful swing by Alex. July 3rd's been a long time at Seattle. 169 at bats. The last time he went deep, and to go to the opposite field like this is special. Maybe he'll remember this and will bottle that up. Bullpen loves it. Look at them. They're having a good time out there now. Tie game. See if they can get him back. Beautiful swing on the outer half, exactly where it should have been hit. Ball, he got it up there. Change up, stayed up. Alex just went with it, barreled it. Perfect swing.
And it just continued to carry. When he first hit it, I wasn't thinking home run. I thought maybe he just missed it.
And I was watching Rosario, and he was running like a madman.
That's through. And Whit Merrifield, maybe the unluckiest Royal tonight, finally squirts one through the left side. He is 1 for 4.
If he'd have done that with the bases loaded, Junis would be having the lead right now and qualifying for a W. But it doesn't really matter who gets the W, just get it.
So what did I say earlier about how double plays are a combination of skill and luck?
Yeah.
The skill is getting a ball down so you can get a ground ball, but when he doubled, or when he hit into the double play in the second inning, you can't hit it any harder, but he hit it right at someone. That one he hits off the end of the bat. Who knows what the exit speed was on that one, but
Probably with 50.
But with no skill, he got it in between the shortstop and the third baseman.
That's right.
I think Lorenzo might have been giving Whit the opportunity to run, and Whit started to go and stopped. In this season series between the Royals and the Twins, the big difference has been the 7th inning or later. And that's been go time for Lorenzo Cain this year. Rios is trying to freeze Merrifield. Cain's being patient and now finally asked for time.
Barrios is smart. That's what you do. You got a base stealer over there. Hold it as long as you can. Delay the jump. Whitley sitting on 28 steals, looking for 29.
Baseball theory would tell you that this is all good for Lorenzo Cain, with Barrios at the moment more worried about Merrifield than he is Lorenzo.
And likes his chances to get a heater here. That first pitch was a fastball. Lorenzo shaking his head. He wanted, but he took it because he thought Whitley was going to try to get a jump. Get the ball home quicker with the fastball. Try to help the catcher throw the runner out. That's the whole key. Look for that heater.
Was that supposed to be a pitch out?
It looked funky. Might have been, but it was up enough for Castro to at least get a pickoff throw down there.
He came jumping out of there like he was expecting a pitch out, but it was not to the outer part of the plate. There he goes. Swinging a foul tip.
Wow.
Whit is out. And Cain may have been called for interference had Whit been safe.
Boy, Castro, he was ready. Right on the money, honey.
Royals tie it on Gordon's home run. Summer, and we've had some home runs tonight. That home run by Eduardo Escobar tied the game at 1 in the 3rd inning. Byron Buxton in a 10-pitch at bat with Jacob Junis homered to left with 2 down in the 6th. That put Minnesota ahead 2-1, and Alex Gordon, who hadn't homered in over 2 months, goes to the opposite field. That was with 2 outs, and that tied the game at 2. Barrios gives up 2 runs in 7 innings. Junis gives up 2 runs in 6 1/3. Junis struck out 7. Mike Minor took over with 1 out in the 7th inning. And in the 8th, he gets Mauer, Polanco, and Rosario, a left-hand batter, a switch hitter, and then another left-hand batter. I don't know if I've ever seen Joe Mauer argue. We don't see him every day, but just turning his head and very subtly shaking his head at the home plate umpire Andy Fletcher. That's his version of an argument. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
He's a gentleman. Check these numbers out. Solid year. Doesn't hit for much power like he did in the old Metrodome. Got him rolling over.
Hosmer came off the bag.
Tough to get a good straight throw on a spin move on a ball hit that slowly. Very difficult play there for Whitley. He has an excellent effort. But he's going 100%, and we know that's fast. Look at him. He's going now. He's got to reach down, pick it, and spin and throw, and try to lead the throw towards the catcher so it gets to first. But just pulled it. That's one of the hardest plays for a second baseman to try to make right there. The angle and the momentum of your spin.
A bunt, and it will roll foul. It hit the edge of the grass. And Polanco appears to look a little surprised that that ball went foul. I think when he put it down, he figured he got the job done. Five sacrifice bunts, including a sacrifice in the 8th inning on Thursday after a Joe Mauer leadoff single. And at the time, remember, you and I were saying thank you.
Yep.
The way he'd been swinging the bat.
Close game like this, it's almost predictable, though. He's going to bunt. We'll see. Yep.
Minor is on it. Polanco is out. Mauer goes to second. Let's take a look at our T-Mobile Unlimited Baseball break and see what's going on around the major leagues. Luis Severino. All those injuries to Yankees starters this year. He gives up 1 hit in 7 innings and strikes out 10. Kevin Pillar have a night. And Dustin Pedroia has been fighting a bad knee all year. A home run. He drove in 2. Boston maintains a 4.5 game lead over the Yankees in the East. It is not official yet. Boston's still playing, but they're up 9-0.
I like the chance.
This is a carbon copy of the 8th inning. On the game, in the game on Thursday, Joe Mauer had a single against Mike Minor. Minor then had Polanco drop down a sac bunt, and then he struck out Rosario. There is no gray area for the Royals bullpen in wins and losses against Minnesota. When they win, they have a tiny 1.14 ERA, but when they lose,
The bullpen ERA is 8.76.
I'm telling you, it's crazy.
0-2 on Rosario.
Beautiful. Whenever you see a hitter swing like that, obviously you executed your pitch and you fooled him. A changeup to a left-handed hitter. Lots of left-handed pitchers don't like to throw that pitch to the left-handed batter because it goes down and into his wheelhouse. But that was a straight change. Very effective pitch to a left-handed batter from a left-handed pitcher. Try it again.
Off the end of the bat.
That was a changeup. So 2 in a row, that's enough. Don't throw him a third one in a row. If you throw a guy 3 changeups in a row, he'll time it.
Fastball struck him out.
There you go. Great spot up there. Raise that eye level. Beautiful job of setting him up. See, the pitch is away. Now you surprise him with the red dot. There you go. See the 2 fingers across the seams? That's a 4-seamer. Meant to be thrown hard and straight. If you have velocity, use it upstairs. You'll get the strikeout.
The Royals put Buxton on. Max Kepler is the scheduled hitter for Minnesota. So the Royals were hoping for a lefty, but with the September call-ups, Paul Molitor has a bench full of players, and it'll be Mitch Garver, who just made his big league debut a couple of weeks ago. And with that, Dave Island will go out, and they'll talk about how they want to pitch Garver. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, allows you to watch every out-of-market game live at home, in the office, or on the go. Blackout restrictions do apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Did you notice how Dave Island was covering his mouth? Salvador Perez had his glove over his mouth. They do that now in the modern game more than they ever did before. It's because lip reading, television, you know, all that stuff, they want to guard
Apple
it.
Watches.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's not that Dave Island has bad breath. It's just, you know, they just don't want to let them see them read the lips, and you can read lips. I remember standing in that batter's box when they had a little meeting. Of course, it usually wasn't a serious meeting if I was hit. And they were like, you know, hey, come on. I could read them. Look at that. Nice play.
Mike Minor has gone an inning and 2/3 scoreless. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning in a 2-2 tie. Cabrera and Hosmer coming up. Alex Gord had not homered since July the 3rd, and he provided our Jeep drive of the game with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning against Jose Barrios. Right into the Royals bullpen. And here we are, tied at 2 in the bottom of the 8th. Minnesota makes a Chevy call to the bullpen and brings on Ryan Presley.
Presley's been good. Opponents don't hit a whole lot off him. His ERA is a little bit higher than he'd like. 54 strikeouts and 53 1/3 tells me he's got a pretty good fastball. And he does. You know, 90 to 95, maybe 97 even. Nice slider to go with it. Pretty good curve. Yeah, he's got a curve as well.
Zach Granite moves into left field. Eddie Rosario goes from left to right. So Granite will bat in the number 6 spot. Cain's had a good night tonight, 2 out of 3 with a triple and a run scored. And he's had a good career against Ryan Presley. Still 0-2. Line right field, base hit. Go ahead run is on with nobody out.
And Locaine, he's saying, you know what, I'm on a little roll right now. That fastball at 97, all I got to do is just put an easy swing on it. Look at how he kept his hands inside of that baseball. Look at the bottom leg there. The bottom leg bends down like that, and when that does, it's able to drop you down, but the swing stays nice and level through the zone. That's what that allows when you break that backside down like that.
And we have a Terrence Gore sighting.
Right, you know he's been chomping at the bit.
Not going, and it's a good thing. Castro can throw, and that would be a good pitch to throw on.
Sure enough, it'll be a challenge now at 97 miles an hour. Pitch from Presley. Gets that ball home quickly. We just saw what he did with Whitley. Castro threw him out. Career 24% of throwing runners out, which is pretty good.
And that missed, 2-0. I don't think Melky wants to bunt. I think he's assuming that Gore is going to run, and he's doing anything he can to distract Castro.
Melky can concentrate on the heater right here, fastball. Similar swing as Lorenzo Cain, about 80% swing there. Let that 97 travel to add to the power to your swing. You don't need to swing at 100%.
Not running, and it's 3-0. Terrence Gore began his big league career 17 out of 17 in regular season games, and now 2 for his last 5.
Yeah, I had run into a little bump in the road. It's going to happen though. As good as some of these catchers are, and I know the catcher for Cleveland, Perez, threw him out back-to-back nights.
First 2 times he got thrown out was Roberto Perez. And Melky takes a 4-pitch walk. So maybe Presley with the anticipation of Gore running. Had some difficulty getting the ball into the strike zone. And now 2 on and nobody out. Eric Hosmer's coming up. And Paul Molitor's going to go to the lefty, Buddy Bashirs. So Presley gives up a single and a walk. Out in the bottom of the 8th. Start your day off with First Things First. Weekday mornings on FS1 with hosts Chris Carter and Nick Wright as they kick off the day with the latest in sports. First Things First, weekdays at 5:30 a.m. on FS1. Buddy Bashirs with 2 on and nobody out, and Eric Hosmer coming up.
Okay, now he's got a pretty good fastball, Bashirs. He's going to go 88 to 94. See the ERA close to 5. Left-handed pitcher or batters only hitting 200 off him with a couple of homers. Hosmer, on the other hand, is hitting 292 against left-handers with 5 home runs out of his 24 against them. So he's not looking for a homer here. He just wants to find a hole. Obviously, shortstop is the biggest hole out there. Polanco, he's holding Gore close. I don't believe if Gore goes, Melky will go with him. I think Melky's going to stay at home.
Hosmer, ground ball, base hit center field. What a relief. A ground ball that didn't end up in a Twins infielder's glove. And the Royals lead 3-2 in the 8th inning.
That's exactly what they needed. A clutch hit from a clutch performer. Hosmer 3 for 3 with a walk tonight. He's continuing to pile up the hits. He's 3rd in the American League in hits. And this 3-hit night will put him even closer to the number 2 spot, and there it was, right up the middle. Look at Gore. Wow, he's already crossed the plate by the time the ball even got to the center fielder. He was ready for that one.
Another pitching change. This is right-hander Tyler Duffy. He'll get Salvador Perez when we come back. camera, but when he comes on as a pinch runner, you think stolen base, run scored. He didn't need the stolen base, but he scored a run.
Yeah, and you know, it's a little breaker. I mean, it stayed up in the middle of the plate. Usually, Boshiers will start a left-handed batter off with a fastball, but he tried a little breaker, it hung up there, and he got him. There's some fans out there wanting to see a Salvi splash in the worst way tonight after the game, man. They just need a W. Find somehow, some way to get her done.
That's a fair ball. It's the first hit for Salvador Perez in this series, and he picked the right time. The Royals take a 4-2 lead. Paul Molitor has used 3 relievers in this inning, and none has recorded an out.
That's right. All first pitch, too, man. They're ready to go. Raking. Salvi says, all right, let's see if I can get a hanger. Again, that's back-to-back pitches and back-to-back hitters that were hanging breaking balls right in the middle. This would be a great time for Mike Moustakas to hit one out of the park. I don't know if they're going to let it happen, though.
Well, there was a lefty ready to go in the bullpen, and now Paul Molitor will bring on that lefty to face Brandon Moss with the bases loaded and nobody out. So Presley came on. He gave up a single and a walk. Boshiers came on. He threw 1 pitch. Hosmer drove in a run. Duffy comes on. He throws 1 pitch. Perez doubles in a run. And now it's Taylor Rogers against Brandon Moss with the bases loaded and nobody out.
Moss needs to look for that first pitch.
In this inning, none have recorded an out, and now Taylor Rogers comes on with the bases loaded, nobody out, and he came into the game last night and faced 2 and did not record an out.
Yeah, now look, you better be careful about first pitches here. Haas and Salvi both, they got hits on breaking balls that stayed over the middle. And look at this number. First pitch for Moss, 438, 5 bombs. Watch out.
Into right field. Caught by Rosario. No tag.
Oh, too bad, Brandon. Good swing. He was on it. Just got off the end of the bat. Had a little sink to it. Rosario using his speed. Lots of times when a big, strong hitter like Moss takes a swing like that and hits a ball like that, your first instinct as an outfielder is to move back 2 steps, but he didn't. Good play by Rosario. Molitor, man, as he went wearing a path out.
This will be the 5th pitcher in this inning. There's one out. It's Alan Buznitz.
Taking a page out of Francona's book.
We're just 2.5 back of Minnesota in the wild card. Minnesota's won the first 2 to make it a 4.5 game lead, and now the Royals lead 4-2. Bottom of the 8th inning. They have scored 2 in this inning. It has taken 4 relievers to get 1 out. And now here is reliever number 5, Alan Buznitz, with the bases loaded, 1 out against Alcides Escobar.
Another hard thrower. Mid to upper 90s curve. Occasional change. Mainly 2 pitches. Fastball, curve. Be ready. First pitches are hot.
Buxton's got a very good arm. Hosmer tags. And Buxton goes to third. It is 5-2. Escobar drives in his 44th. I thought he might go for it right there.
Yeah, now that's 6. That is 6 first pitch swingers so far in this inning. I like it. Guys are ready to go. Scoring, capitalizing. Molitor saying, hey, man, what are we going to do? Bring in another reliever? No. They want to appeal. Molitor wants an appeal at third, thinking Haas left too soon.
Joe West says no. That is reviewable. That was one of the added reviews this past off season. So while they were appealing, they were also finding out from their clubhouse whether they thought they should challenge or not. Fastball for a strike from Buznitz to Alex Gordon. Alex homered for the first time in over 2 months with 2 down in the 7th inning. That tied the game at 2, and now the Royals have 3 in the bottom of the 8th. Bat shattered. Oh, and 2. The 8th inning has been the Royals' best in the latter innings this year. And if you add tonight, they've outscored their opponents 95-57. Still 0-2. It'll be Brandon Maurer in the top of the 9th inning, and he'll get the lower third of the Minnesota batting order. Inning over. But the Royals get 3. Hosmer, Perez, and Escobar drive in the runs. 5-2 KC.
And when this one is over, we'll talk about it on Boulevard Royals Live. Joel Goldberg, Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery. Once again, as has been the case almost every 5 days, Jacob June is strong for this rotation, and the late inning rally making its comeback, and they absolutely needed it. We'll talk about the late game heroics, hopefully the ability to close this one out. Ned Yost, Monty Analysis, and much more coming up on Boulevard Royals Live. Back to Mr. 3000.
How did I know that was coming? Paulo Orlando's in center field, and Brandon Maurer is on the mound. Maurer has saved 20 this year. Make that 21. 20 with the Padres before the trade, 1 save with the Royals. And it'll be Escobar, Castro, and Grossman. 1-1 on Escobar. He tied the game at 1 with a home run in the 3rd inning.
Bauer's got closer ability with his stuff. 98-mile-an-hour fastball, excellent slider, breaking straight down. He's got a powerful changeup at 88 to 90. He's got the stuff. Got to stay out of the middle. This will be a good confidence booster for him.
Merrifield to the hole. 1 down. $29,991 are here tonight, so just 9 away from 30,000. So the crowds have gotten bigger with every game. I take that back. There was 31,800 here last night, so 26,000, 31,000, 29,000 for the first 3 games, with the final game tomorrow afternoon. Ball 1 to Castro. He has 2 singles. He is 2 for 3, and his out was a big out. Minnesota had the bases loaded in the 4th inning, and he flied out to end the inning. Moustakas over to the Minnesota dugout, and it's on the roof and bounces back about 12 rows. That inning right now stands out on my scorecard. With one out in the fourth, Rosario singled. He stole second base until the Royals decided to challenge. Rosario was out on review, so he could have been at second base with one out, which was big because then single by Buxton, single by Kepler. 1 ball, 2 strikes, then a walk to Escobar. But because of the challenge, nobody scored, and then Castro came up with the bases loaded and he flied out to left.
Salvi doing it with his throwing arm twice, throwing out Twins, and then that nice double down the left field line. That's right, making a team effort here. Get some winning mojo back. They've got to be able to shut them down here, though. Twins are tough. That's that slider breaker.
Easy play for Moustakas. 2 down.
Nice changeup, very effective. Good for the pop-up.
Mentioned earlier the difference maker in this season series, and Minnesota leads 11-6, has been their ability to score in the later innings. Ball one outside, and they did it on Thursday night, scoring 3 in the 9th to turn a deficit into a lead and a win. But tonight it's the Royals with 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning to take the lead. 1-1 on Grossman. Best way to describe the Royals right now, they're hanging in there, and so are the fans here tonight. They are chanting "Let's go Royals" at the top of their lungs.
There's no quit in either one of them, players or their fans.
2-2.
Been through way too much here.
Three and 2. Dozier is on deck. Minnesota needs 2 base runners for a chance. There's base runner number 1. Grossman walks for the 2nd time tonight.
Man, right on the edges. 97 on the block.
And I think Mauer felt like that should have been a strike, and good catchers are able to read each pitcher's emotions, and I think Mauer's been here long enough for Salvi to realize, okay, he's not very happy. I need to go out and have a chat with him.
Good idea.
With 2 on and 1 out, Dozier grounded into a double play to end the 7th inning. Fastball for a strike. One and one. Double plays have been a big item in this series. Minnesota's grounded into 2. The Royals have grounded into 8.
Yeah,
Ouch.
Changeup fades inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Joe Mauer would represent the tying run, hoping for a chance. He's waiting on deck. Dozier hits it to left field. Deep but playable. And the Royals get their first win of this series. It was Minnesota with the big hits and the big plays on defense in the first 2 games, but tonight Alex Gordon had the first big hit with a home run in the 7th inning to tie it, and then Hosmer, Perez, and Escobar drove in runs in the 3-run 8th inning.
Nicely done, Mauer. Good job when he shut her down. Haas, have a night. Continuing to climb in the hit ranks, and his average is going up constantly. Our Honda play of the game is that knock up the middle. His 3rd of the night. Stay hot. Bringing in Gore to score. Oh, it's nice to see the Royals get back in the win column. Good crowd tonight, too, here at the K. They had their fangs out. Haas, way to go. Alex went deep. Gotta love it. And Mauer put him in the shower.
Well, the Royals were hoping for better in this series, hoping for at least 3 out of 4. And now the best they can hope for is to win tomorrow and begin this series, or end the series the way it began, and that is 2.5 games back of Minnesota in the wild card. Final score 5-2. Let's go down to the field, and here's Joel.
All right, Eric Hosmer and the offense breaking out late. Haas, let's just talk about that big comeback and really your mindset too. You're tied. You have Terrence Gore at second base. How much does that simplify things?
He's a big threat. You know, obviously he's got some of the best speed in the league, so you're just looking for something up right there to drive, and he's like an offensive closer. Every time he comes in there, you're pretty confident it's going to get a run for us.
How confident were you guys too? Because even though it was only a couple of runs against Barrios, everyone top to bottom was hitting the ball hard all night long.
Yeah, it was one of those nights. You know, we hit like 4 or 5 line drives to left field, a bunch of diving plays by Joe at first. So you just keep plugging away, hope they fall, and that's all we did.
How much has Jacob Junis in his rookie year meant to this team?
He's done a great.
Oh man, that's all ice. I've been there before. All right, back to Junis.
Yeah, he's been great. Just big situations all year. Like we talked about, you know, every time it seems like we need a big start, he's the guy that goes out there and gives it for us. So, you know, hopefully he can continue to do what he's doing the rest of September and get some things going for us.
Last thing, and this is not about baseball, it's really more important, but I know you, any of the guys from Florida, all parts of Florida, Dominican Republic, so many in baseball have been keeping your eye on Hurricane Irma. It looks like in Miami things might be better than expected, but how much has that been on your mind? And for folks down in Florida and elsewhere watching, your thoughts?
It's been on everybody's mind. You know, obviously you never want anything like that to happen, but you know, we've had tremendous support from everybody out here and all across the country, and not only Florida but Houston and all over the places. So we thank everybody for their support, and we're going to continue to unite as a country and see if we can you know, bring some good times back for everybody.
Well said, and congratulations on a big 3-for-3 night.
All right, thank you, Joel.
Eric Hosmer taking the ice bath in this one. Guys?
And that's the only thing that can cool him down right now. A perfect night. 3 hits, a walk, a run scored, and the game-winning RBI. That's